Now, there are many questions that people love to ponder. Why are we here? Is there an afterlife? And more importantly, how much money do you make from streams and downloads? In this video, I'm going to tackle the important topics that it's one of the biggest questions as a musician. I mean, not only just musicians, but even business people like entrepreneurs like Elon Musk has jumped into the mix, talking about how little you make as an artist for streams and downloads. And it's crazy, right? And then as any musician knows, you spend an astronomical amount of time, learning an instrument or learning music production or sometimes both, and then creating these melodies and arrangements, mixing and mastering, whether you do it yourself or you pay an engineer to do it for you. You put all this time into it to then put it online and get close to nothing for streams or downloads. Now, without any rambling on, because I hate when YouTube videos talk over and over again, you're just like, look, I want to know the numbers. Here are the true numbers of how much you make from streams and downloads. I have to stress this. This is a bit of a generalization. Depending on the streaming platform or the downloading platform, this number fluctuates a little bit. But overall, in terms of an average, you make roughly $3 per 1,000 streams and 70 cents per download. Obviously, this is assuming it's single. Obviously, the single being worth, like, say, 99 cents, which is the typical price that you would purchase something for. So as you can imagine, and this depends on the platform too. For me, on Pandora, for example, I'd say I make close to $1 per 1,000 streams, right? Like, balling out. When it comes to Spotify, it's more closer to that $3 per 1,000 streams range. And then when it comes to, for example, the downloads, I say on iTunes, it's pretty much, I'd say usually about 70 cents per download. And then, for example, on something like Amazon, I'd say it's close to maybe like 60 to 68, it should be 65 to 68 cents. So a little bit less, but only by a couple cents per download. Now, on one end, some people say, like, okay, well, if you think about it, it's passive income, right? Like, you make that album, that track, that EP, you put it online, and for the rest of eternity, as long as it's up there and you didn't take it down or anything like that, you're getting that revenue in. But if you think about it, and like I said, as every musician knows, your hourly rate, if you really do the math, is ridiculous. I mean, like I said, in terms of not only just the time of making the track and learning the instruments prior to that, but the marketing, right? Like, I know for me, especially as an independent musician, me being a DJ and electronic music producer, there's a lot of time spent marketing, right? I do a YouTube video every day. Actually, I think at the time of this video, I have to check, but something about probably 1,030 videos I have on YouTube, and I post one a day, like a video like this or something else, to do marketing for my tracks. I get a lot of traffic from YouTube on my music, which is awesome. But there's a lot of avenues too. I send my music to everywhere. I promote it through other DJs. I get paid, in so many different ways, but even still, at the end of the day, the amount of hours that I spend, both on half of it being making the track, production, engineering, arranging, yada, 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 and then also the other half being the marketing, it's extremely low. And also with me releasing all my music independently, I release it through DistroKid, as I've said in numerous videos, and also DistroKid promotes to a bunch of different platforms. And even still, even though I'm on pretty much every platform you can possibly think of, the amount of revenue that I get, especially if you take the amount of hours versus how much revenue I actually get, my hourly rate, or how much I make an hour, is like ridiculous. It's like $1 an hour. Like, it's stupid how much little you make as a musician. But I think that's kind of the way, especially in this day and age, that's kind of the way things are evolving to. That's why a lot of musicians now are saying, hey, I don't really, I'll put something online. I have no problem releasing it for free because I know I'm going to make pretty much nothing from streams and downloads. I'll just put it online for free. People like Pretty Lights or Grammatic are huge components of this. Even Grammatic, when he released his album, The Age of Reason, he was the first musician to be like, hey, I'm going to release this specifically through BitTorrent. So you have to torrent my album 100% for free. Because he even said, he's like, look, I make most of my money from touring and then some from merchandise, maybe some licensing deals, like if commercials want to use his tracks and a lot of his tracks are in commercials, then he makes more revenue that way. But in terms of the actual streams and downloads, it's pretty much close to nothing. I wish this video was a little more optimistic, a little more like, oh, don't worry, you can make a ton of money from streams and downloads. And I think you can. I mean, obviously, if you're a huge artist, like I said, it is passive income by the definition of passive income. But in terms of how much you truly make of all the hours you spend and then putting it online and doing the marketing, not the best. And that's why I say to a lot of people, like for me, when I do get money, and like I said, it pays my bills. So like when I do get money from my streams and downloads, I'm like, street, like that money that I just got, however much it is, will probably pay for most of my bills for that month. Nothing crazy, but at least kind of helps me out, obviously, a little bit, like any musician will say, you know. And obviously for me, I'm not even close to the level that I want to be at. Obviously, you know, my ultimate goal is to be like touring the world and performing my music in front of, you know, thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people. That's obviously the dream, and especially a lot of musicians have the same dream. But the truth is, relying on your streams and downloads to hopefully supplement that dream is not the way to go. And that's why I wanted to make this video, one, to kind of be transparent. Like, you know, like I said, you make roughly $3 per 1,000 streams and 70 cents per download. But the second thing is, if you're getting into the music game with the intention of, oh, I just want to make money and live my income and live my life just based off the downloads and streams, you need an astronomical amount. And the kind of paradox is that if you do get to that point where literally your streams and downloads supplement your life, you have to be such a big musician that you're going to be touring by nature anyway. And one performance when touring is probably going to pay for a year's worth, probably more, of streams and downloads. So it's not even worth, like I said, it's a paradox. If you're really getting into it to you know, make your money off your streams and downloads, you have to become so big that inevitably you're going to be touring or getting licensing deals for your tracks to be in movies or TV shows or commercials or whatever.